The stadium fell into an uncharacteristic, breathtaking silence, a vast ocean of glowing purple lights stretching into the infinite darkness of the night. Tens of thousands of hearts beat in a synchronized, anxious rhythm, holding a collective breath that felt heavy with years of waiting, of devotion, and of shared history. This was the Arirang World Tour, a monumental chapter where every performance carried the weight of a legacy, but tonight felt entirely different. In the center of the massive stage, silhouetted against the colossal LED screens, stood Taehyung, known to the world as V. He wasn't just a global superstar standing beneath the blinding spotlights. In this raw, suspended moment, he was a storyteller about to breathe new, unexpected life into a song that had already defined an era. The air was thick with anticipation, a tangible emotional tension that pulled the audience closer, forcing them to lean in, desperately curious about how a track known for its explosive, vibrant energy would transform under the weight of his singular artistic soul. When the first notes finally broke through the quiet, a collective shiver rippled through the crowd because it wasn't the familiar, high-octane bass line that everyone had memorized. Instead, it was something stripped down, intimate, and profoundly melancholic, reimagined to echo through the deepest corners of the human heart. Taehyung stood perfectly still, his eyes closed, letting the music wash over him before he even uttered a single word. When he finally opened his mouth, his deep, velvety baritone voice enveloped the stadium like a warm, comforting blanket in the dead of winter, turning a global pop anthem into an intimate confession. The lyrics flowed out not as a boast of confidence, but as a tender reminder of resilience, a soft reassurance to every soul in that arena that they had survived the darkest nights together. There was a haunting beauty in the way his vocals hovered over the minimalist instrumentation, each syllable heavy with a hidden depth of feeling that spoke of the loneliness they had all fought through, and the profound joy of finally being reunited in this sacred space. As the performance progressed, the atmosphere began to shift, moving from a gentle, reflective whisper into something grander, more cinematic, and intensely emotional. Taehyung began to move across the stage, not with the rigid precision of choreographed pop routines, but with a fluid, theatrical grace that made him look like a tragic hero capturing the fleeting beauty of a dream. His expressions, captured in devastatingly sharp detail on the towering screens, mirrored the complex duality of the moment, a bittersweet smile that carried the memories of everything they had sacrificed to stand here again, contrasted with a burning, passionate fire in his eyes that refused to let the night end. The audience was completely spellbound, trapped in a trance where the outside world ceased to exist, completely addicted to the emotional gravity he exerted with just a tilt of his head or a sudden, soulful improvisation that pushed his vocal range to its absolute limits. The music swelled, building an undeniable, towering wave of energy that felt like a localized thunderstorm inside the stadium, a beautiful chaos of sound and light that threatened to overwhelm the senses. Yet, right at the peak of this sonic crescendo, Taehyung chose to hold back, creating a breathtaking contrast that made the hairs on the arms of every viewer stand on end. He looked directly into the camera, establishing a piercing, unbreakable connection with millions watching around the globe, his eyes glistening with unshed tears that reflected the purple galaxy of the crowd. In that brief, agonizing second of silence before the final chorus erupted, the deep connection between the artist and his people was laid entirely bare, a testament to a bond forged through years of music, tears, and unconditional love. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated vulnerability that made the entire journey worth it, anchoring the song not just as a hit record, but as a timeless monument to human connection. When the final explosion of light and sound finally tore through the night, it felt like a release of years of pent-up emotion, an ecstatic celebration that washed away every ounce of lingering sorrow. Taehyung let his voice soar, no longer holding back, blending his rich tones with the roaring thunder of the crowd's cheers in a harmonious, unforgettable finale. As the last note faded into the cool night air and the stage lights slowly dimmed, he remained standing there, chest heaving, a solitary figure who had just given everything he had to the stage. The silence did not return, instead, it was replaced by a deafening, unified roar of love and gratitude that shook the very foundations of the stadium, leaving an indelible mark on the souls of everyone present, who knew they had just witnessed a masterpiece of emotional storytelling that would echo in their hearts forever. The lingering echo of that final note seemed to hang suspended in the humid night air, refusing to dissipate even as the stadium fell into a breathless, awe-inspiring reverence. Taehyung did not look away from the sea of faces. Instead, his gaze wandered slowly across the upper decks, tracking the gentle sway of the lights as if trying to memorize the silhouette of every single person who had traveled across oceans to be there. The screen behind him captured a solitary tear tracing a glistening path down his cheek, catching the faint, fading glow of the stage pyrotechnics, yet there was no sadness in his posture, only a profound, overwhelming sense of arrival. He let his microphone drop slightly to his side, allowing the raw, unfiltered sound of tens of thousands of voices chanting his name to wash over him completely, absorbing the collective warmth of a family that had grown together through seasons of doubt and triumphs alike. The atmosphere was thick with a shared understanding that this particular rendition of the song had transcended the boundaries of a standard concert performance, morphing into a living, breathing testament to survival and the enduring power of their shared history. Slowly, almost reluctantly, the minimalist piano chords began to swell once more, looping in a soft, ambient coda that felt like a gentle heartbeat guiding the audience back to reality. Taehyung took a single, deliberate step toward the very edge of the extended stage, leaning over the barricade as close as the security would allow, stretching his hand out into the open air as if he could physically touch the thousands of outstretched fingers reaching back toward him. The emotional tension in that small, physical gap was palpable, a vivid representation of the invisible threads that bound his art to their lives, proving that even in the middle of a colossal world tour, the most impactful moments were the ones that felt entirely personal. His chest heaved with the exertion of the performance, but his expression remained serene, a calm center within the swirling vortex of global stardom that surrounded him on this historic night. He gave one final, lingering nod to the crowd, a silent promise that the light they had created together in this stadium would continue to burn long after the spotlights were turned off and the stage was dismantled into memory.